Hi class. Welcome to math. We are going to be starting a section on graphing, and so all the different types of graphs. And so today we're going to start with a graph you may have already seen or used before in previous grades. We're going to be using what's called a pictograph. And if you get your math page out with me, which is page 221, you will see on your page a pictograph. It's got a king and some frogs. Well, I tried to draw you frogs, but you know how my art skills are, so I went with something a little bit easier, and so I have post-it notes with happy faces that are supposed to be the frogs. So my graph and the graph that are on your paper are the same graph, just that's frogs and mine are smiley faces on post-it notes. So anyways, let's go ahead and look at all the parts of our graph before we get started. Please get out your folder, your math folder, in order to take notes on pictographs. Remember, at any time, you can stop the video, catch up, and then restart. As you can see, this graph is made of pictures. Okay, that's why it's called a pictograph. What we have here first, they give you, if you look at the top, they always give you what's called a title. So this here is the title. All graphs need to have a title because it tells you what the graph is about. So this one says this one says frogs in Pharaoh's house. Okay, so we know that this is going to be something about the frogs that were in Pharaoh's house during the plague. Another part of the graph is what's called the labels. So these here, go this direction, are called labels. The labels help to tell you more information about the graph. So this must be frogs in Pharaoh's house, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, in the throne room, and in the closet. Okay? Now, down below, we have what's called the scale. The scale is important in a pictograph because the scale tells you what each picture represents or means. For instance, in this pictograph, just like your paper, each one of the pictures or frogs represents 10 frogs. So one picture of a frog actually means 10 frogs. So let's look up here. So you can see I have in the bedroom, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures of frogs. But if you remember, one picture of a frog means 10 frogs. So actually, how many frogs are there in the bedroom? 60. There are 60 frogs in the bedroom. In the kitchen, if we look at the kitchen, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many frogs are there in the kitchen? Well, if it's 10 per picture, then there's actually 50. Okay? Same thing for here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 10 would be 40. And then 1, 2, 3. 3 times 10 would be 30. So that is how we read a pictograph. So make sure that you look for the scale. Tomorrow, you're going to have another math sheet that has a pictograph on it. And make sure that you pay attention to the scale because it would not be 10. It's going to change to a different number. So the scale is probably the most important part of your pictograph. Okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for now on the pictograph. And I'm going to put another video up for those of you who might need still a little bit of help with the multiplication and any other math problems I think you might have trouble with on this math page. All right, go ahead. I'll see you later. Answer the questions, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye. Welcome back to the review for your math page. Again, if you feel confident in these math problems and think you can do them without me, go right ahead. If not, I'm going to go ahead and review some of these math problems so that you can feel confident in going ahead. Again, if you need, stop stop the video, catch up, and then go ahead and continue watching so that you can learn how to do some of these things that you might not be quite comfortable with yet. So we're going to go ahead and start with number 2A. All right? Number 2A is kind of a really large problem. First thing we're going to do is we're going to have 5 times 4 and 6 sevenths. Well, 5 is a whole number. I need to turn it into a fraction. So how do we do that? We put it over 1. Then I have a mixed number. And as we know, we cannot multiply a mixed number times a fraction. We have to turn it into a fraction. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. And then I'll do my arrows. And it'll be 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 6 is 34. So I'll have 34 over my denominator, 7. Okay? At this time, we're going to try to cross cancel or cancellation. Can I do that? No, I can't. So I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to have to do a really big math problem off to the side. So I'm going to have to do 34 times 5. So I'm going to go over here and do 34 times 5, and it's going to end up being 170. Okay? So now my numerator is 170 over my denominator, which is 7. Okay? What kind of fraction is it? Hopefully you just said improper fraction. Because it's an improper fraction, I can't leave my answer that way. I'm going to have to divide. So I'm going to go over and divide my problem. Okay? We know that 7 can't go into 1, but 7 can go into 17 2 times. Bring down that. Okay? 7 goes into 30. How many times? 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. Do my subtraction, and I have a remainder of 2. But do I write it as a remainder 2? No, we're going to write it as a fraction. And that is your full answer. 24 and 2 sevenths. All right, so there's one problem. Let's go ahead and we look at the page and let's see if there's any other ones that we might want to tackle. I actually think you're going to be okay on the rest of them. Just remember, if it's a whole number, you need to make sure it turns into a fraction. If it's a mixed number, you need to make sure you turn that into a fraction by doing your arrows. Don't let anything be an improper fraction when you finish. And don't forget to do what? Reduce. Hopefully that's what you just said, is reduce the problem. If you turn to the back side of your paper, you should be able to do all these problems without any trouble. If you do have a problem that you're confused on, wait. And then when we have one of our group chat sections, I can help you with that problem, okay? Or another option would be to send me a Blooms. Say, Mrs. Tiffany, you know on page 222, number 3B was really hard. Can you help me with that? And then maybe I can make another video, okay? So hopefully I will be able to help you as much as I can with these harder problems, all right? Have a great day. Get your math done.